Becoming rich is simple. Now, before you yell at me in the comments, just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. It takes effort, discipline, and delayed gratification, all of which can be difficult but worth it. You see, just because you work hard and honest doesn't mean you're going to be wealthy. A great example of this is a man who lays tiles, working long, physically demanding hours, yet after years of hard work, he's not much better off financially than when he started. You also have the business owner who wakes up at 5 a.m. every day to open her business, providing quality products and services, earning more in a yearly income than those who do so in 10. But years later, with her business no longer open, she doesn't have much to live off of. So, if hard work alone isn't enough to gain wealth, what is it? Now, this is where this book comes in. This book is basically about some dude who lives in Babylon and desires to be rich. Who doesn't? And with the help of a mentor, learns what it takes and becomes loaded. He comes up with 7 cures for being poor, but nobody has time for that, so let's go over the 4 necessary ones. Now, if you follow me through the rest of this video, you may learn a thing or two, and with some implementation, you too can begin your journey to becoming wealthy. Remember, this is simple, but requires effort. Although this alone isn't going to make you rich, the discipline and lesson it teaches is vital in helping you become the person you need to be in order to be wealthy. Seriously, just set aside 10% of your income first and live off the remaining 90%. Most people pay everyone else first, their car, their loan, their credit card company. And then with the little that's left over, they may pay themselves through some savings. You want to do the opposite. So, for example, if you make $3,000 per month, you want to save $300. If you make $10,000 per month, you want to save $1,000. The dollar amount doesn't matter. What matters is you do it first before paying any expenses and don't touch it. Now, I'm sure your first thought is, well, I barely have anything left over at the end of the month now. How am I supposed to live off of only 90% of my income? Well, that brings me to cure number 2, but let's not get too excited and skip to that just yet. If you set aside 10%, you'll see that you get along just about the same as you did before. You're going to adapt, barely noticing any changes in your lifestyle. See, humans are amazing at adapting, and this is no different. You won't be in any financial turmoil or living on the streets, I hope. But you will notice that you now have a small chunk of money set aside that will grow with every paycheck. And by the wonderful phenomenon known as compounding, it will snowball into something substantial. Try it. You'll be happy you did. This is pretty straightforward, but requires delayed gratification. Most of us have unnecessary expenses that we think we need. Starbucks 7 days per week, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, seriously, who uses that? The monthly subscription to your local car wash, and the list goes on. Chances are if you go through your list of expenses every month, you'll find that you spend a lot of money on things you can either get rid of completely or at the very least reduce. Initially, you'll find there are things that you spend money on that you know you can get rid of, like multiple magic sets. But other things may be a bit more difficult to part ways with. You could look at a budget as an ever-adjusting lifestyle. It's less about the restriction where you can't have what you want and more so about your relationship with money and what is worth exchanging it for. You'll find as time goes on, you become more mindful of where your money goes. You'll have less of a desire to spend money on things that you don't need and more of a desire to put that money to work. Now, for the past few years, I've been using a free app called Personal Capital. It's been helping me budget and see where my money goes. It's a great tool that allows me to bring all my accounts together into one place and see the health of my finances. Now, I'm not sponsored by them, but it is something that has helped me and may be able to help you as well. So if you're looking for a budgeting tool to help you get your together, try them out. Like my homie Warren Buffett said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone else planted a tree a long time ago. Now, I'm not a poet, but I'm pretty sure that means if you start investing today, you and your family will reap the rewards later in life. So you've spent some time paying yourself 10% first, and you now have a sizable sum of money saved. You feel good, you have something to show for your discipline. But you don't want that money sitting idly by. Money sits in a bank account to wither away, kind of like a bouquet of flowers. They're pretty at first, but after some time, they've lost the value they once had. Having your hard-earned money sitting in a bank is not a path to wealth. Typically, banks will pay you an abysmal APY, or annual percentage yield, to hold your money in. And after factoring in inflation, year over year, you're actually losing money. Now you might say, well, Jesse, I have my money in a high yield savings account, so I'm getting a great return. Sure, having your money in an HYSA is a good idea. You're probably earning roughly 4.5%, but considering inflation sits near 3.4% right now, in reality, you're only making about 1.1% on your money. I don't know about you, but I don't like that. High yield savings account are a good alternative to your national bank, and I'll make a video on those at a later date. But for the purpose of this video, once you have enough cash, you're going to then want to start having the rest of your money work for you. Now, there are multiple ways to invest your money, and I'm not going to get into all of them in this video. But where I think everyone should start investing is in the good old US of A stock market. You see, the industry with the highest number of billionaires is finance and investments. The stock market provides any individual, regardless of where you come from, with the ability to grow your wealth. You don't have to be as smart as Warren in order to be a profitable investor, nor do you need to be a Wall Street analyst to know what stocks to buy. You can start by simply buying into an ETF that covers the total stock market like VTI, or one that tracks the S&P 500 like VOO. An ETF like either of these or something similar is a great starting point for anyone who doesn't know that much about the stock market. See, if you put just $1,000 into VOO back in 2010 when it started, that $1,000 would be worth approximately $4,300 today. That equates to an almost 14% annual return, much better than that 4.5% in your high yield savings. What you'll want to do is continually add into your stock portfolio and don't take any out. Compounding and time is your friend here. Eventually, you can start to diversify your portfolio into investments like real estate, small businesses, so on and so forth. After some time, you may have enough money to buy something cool, like a pet dolphin. I'm sure you could be doing something better with your time than scrolling through TikTok and watching people dance. This last cure for being broke as is about you and what you bring to the market. Are you really doing everything you can to be the best version of yourself? Wasting time doing unproductive things, being distracted by the ever-constant feed of social media? We're all guilty of it. I sure am. If we want to grow our wealth and become financially free, we'll need to grow our skill set, learn, and become a more valuable member of society. When you provide more value to your job and society, you're going to be paid more for it. As my all-time favorite motivational speaker Jim Rohn said, bringing value to the marketplace, that's how you get paid. You don't get paid for your time. Now, it takes time to create value, but you get paid for your value, not your time. Nowadays, there are countless ways to earn money, but it stems from your ability to continually challenge yourself. Places like Khan Academy and Coursera are valuable resources for learning new skills for free. YouTube is a phenomenal platform for education and learning as well. For example, did you know that MIT has thousands of videos on here that teach you everything from matrix calculus for machine learning, whatever the that is, to the flight controls of the Lockheed Martin F-22 fighter jet? It's not just about learning for the sake of learning either. You can start selling old jewelry to make some money to go towards your investments, and in the process, you learn new skills that you can take with you. So instead of just going to work, coming home, rinse and repeat, with some of your downtime, do your best to see what you can become. From this process, the money will flow. So that's it. This framework is simple yet effective. Try starting today. The compounding effect of your efforts will continue to pay dividends over time. Now, I appreciate you watching, and if you'd like to see more content like this, consider liking and subscribing below, and I'll see you soon.